Hold on, schedule a session right now from. It says I'm looking for some sort of a plug-in. Wait a minute, John. Okay, there I go. I can see you.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to cover two things right now. I want to cover how to set up searches in FBO, how to set up an account and set up searches in FBO, and then we're going to cover the AFPDS, which is a lot better than FBO for many reasons. But let's start with step one.
Okay.
To register in FBO, to create an account in FBO, you just go over here to Vendor Citizens and click Register Now, and it's really a no-brainer. It's very self-explanatory. It won't allow you to move forward unless you fill in each blank.
Right.
And it'll send you an email to get the account activated. Once it's activated, instead of...
That's the problem. I did all of that, but I never got the email from them in order to verify my email.
Right, and that could just be a mistake on their behalf. The FSD, Federal Service Desk, used to be ran by government employees. That is no longer the case. It's ran by a third party now.
Okay.
And they get paid based on the number of actions. So, you know, the more times people call them, the more time people email them and text them, they get paid.
Okay.
So when you call in and ask them for help, if you're not real specific, they help you with exactly what you're asking for, and that's it. So you'll, you know, obviously call back. It's kind of a pretty smart thing on their behalf. But of course, the taxpayers are the ones paying for it, you know.
Can you see if you can get me logged in or registered?
Yeah, what I want to do right now is I'm going to show how to set up these searches, and then we're going to show you the AFPDS, which you've got, which is better anyway.
Okay.
Okay? So when you log in, you got to accept the terms and conditions. To create a search, you simply go to View Save Searches, click Add New Search Agent. You're going to name it. If you want to specify a state, you click on it. If you want to search all states, you don't click on anything. If you want to search certain states, you hold down the CTRL button and click certain states, and it'll highlight them. If you don't hold down the CTR button, as you click each state, it'll de-highlight the previous state. Take your search term and copy it. Scroll down to the sol or keyword box and paste it. Scroll to the very bottom and save and schedule, and that's it. You've created a search. You want to go ahead and enable it? Yes. And save it so it'll run automatically every day from now on. If you're going to do a 2-keyword search, you're going to do a search that's more than one keyword, you're going to do it a little differently. I'm going to delete these real quick just so we can go back in and create a 2-keyword search. So I'm going to click Add New Search Agent. This time I'm going to do landscaping. But I'm going to do landscaping as 2 separate words instead of 1 word. So I'm going to do quote, land, and scaping, close quote. I'm going to copy that. Scroll down to the sol or keyword box, keyword or sol box, and paste it. Scroll to the bottom, save and schedule, yes, enable, and save. So that's how you set up the searches in FBO. It's really easy.
Would that also work, John, let me just ask you real fast, would that also work like let's say they do weed control, it would be quote, weed, and then capital and then control, quote, right?
Yes, and what that's called is Boolean Logic. I usually send out an email to my clients showing how Boolean Logic works, and it's part of when people do the training, I automatically send this out to them. Boolean Logic is like this. So there's quote, word, capital and, word, close quote. If there's 3 words, then you just add another and in between each word. You can also use nots and ors. You can be real specific because some of these searches are going to get you a lot of garbage that's not a good fit. And we want to get the searches set up to begin with so that we're getting the opportunities, and then the ones that do bring us too much garbage, we can always go back in and edit later. But AFPDS is a much better system to use, so I'm going to go ahead and make Gina the presenter, and she's going to show us AFPDS today.
Okay.
Okay, so you should have something that popped up on your screen that asks if you want to be presenter and asks you if you want to show your screen. There you go.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to minimize our thing over here. All right, so can you see the screen, Anthony, that it says, you know, contracting officers?
I can.
Okay. All right, so the first thing we want to do is for your contracting officers, I usually do the alerts. Once I show you what this all has, then I'll go in and show you how to set up the alerts. You can make the alerts as detailed or as, you know, general as you want, but our system updates every 5 minutes versus FBO, which is every 24 to 48 hours. So if you set this up on instant, it's literally going to be looking every 5 minutes for something to send to you.
Okay.
So you got to be careful. You know, your most detailed ones are the ones that you want to put on your instant. Otherwise, you're going to get, like, every time there's a change, a modification, or anything, you're going to get an email, and it's going to drive you batshit crazy. Okay?
Okay.
So the hourly ones, now those are ones that, yeah, you know what, I want to know, but I don't need to know every 5 minutes. Your dailies are ones that maybe it's a NAICS code that you're kind of, you know, thinking about, you know, dabbling in. You know, you're not real sure if you know, maybe I could do the landscaping side of it, but I'm just not really sure. Maybe, you know, I could do a subcontract or something like that, you know. And then the weeklies are ones that are very, very just general. You know, I just want to know basic information for. But for the most part, my clients use their instance and their hourlies the most. 80% of the time it's their instance and their hourlies because it does set it aside from the FBO. Your dailies are also really good ones because, you know, you're getting something every day. Not necessarily every 5 minutes, but every day.
Right.
So then your people, and remember when you're in here that people and procurement officers, that's what people procurement. So these are the people that are your procurement officers. There's 51,000 and change here in the United States. So what you want to do is with these guys, you want to narrow them down because, you know, let's face it, all 51,000 of them aren't going to have everything to do with what your business is. What is one of your NAICS codes that you use, or what is the what is one of your keywords?
I don't remember my next code, but it's I know one was like construction, doing concrete, and then I think the other one was what was it? Food for the federal prisons.
Food?
I can't remember the next code for that. Yeah.
Okay, food supply?
Yeah.
Okay. So now this is a really neat little interesting thing that you can say about this. So what state are you in?
Georgia.
Okay. Okay. Now, what we can do is we don't know your NAICS code right now, but what we can do is we can go concrete. All right. So you see how the NAICS code comes up next to it just by putting in concrete? So other building finishing contractors, other foundation structure building contractors, poured concrete foundation contractors. Is that yours?
Yes.
Poured concrete? Okay.
Yes.
Now, do you see all those other ones that came up?
I did.
Let me do that again. Do you know if you have all those other NAICS codes?
I do not.
Okay. So when and if you decide, you know, yes, I do want to add those NAICS codes in, you're just going to let your placement specialist know so she can let your case manager know to add those. Once they add them back there, then they can add them to your website. Okay?
Okay.
You can put them in and take them out as much as you want, but this is how I usually tell my clients to follow up a particular NAICS code that you don't have yet to see, you know, is it even getting any traction or anything like that.
Okay.
All right. So let's take that one out. Now, when you do just that particular NAICS code, you hit Apply Filters. It doesn't matter what filter you're putting in here. You only want to put each filter in one at a time. So now that we put in this one, now we want to say, how about Georgia? Okay. Now we'll hit Apply Filters again. Now, if you go in there and you put Georgia and your NAICS code in at the same time, you're not going to get any results. For some reason, it confuses the system. Okay? So now, These are every federal procurement officer, based on our search, that has an open project or has awarded a project under that particular NAICS code. So you can also see when they were last active. You know, if it says they were last active 45 days ago, probably not somebody you want to, you know, jump on the phone with right away because, you know, they're not really doing a whole lot.
Right.
But let's look at Lisa Botkin here. Okay. Now you can see her phone number. You can see her email address. She's with the Department of the Navy. Okay. And you do know that, like, military bases need food too, right? Not just federal prisons?
Right.
Okay. So she doesn't have any open projects, so that means that NAICS code isn't for an open project. That means it was somewhere in her past history. This is her history.
All right.
These are other programs that or awards that she's been a part of. She might not have been the lead on it, but she was part of this particular one that had your NAICS code in it.
Okay.
So you can read through, you know, you can read through these and you can find them, or, you know, you can just simply give her a call and say, hey, I just wanted to call and introduce my company to you. My name is Anthony. I wanted the opportunity to see if it's okay if I send you my link to my website so that, you know, you can see my capability statement.
Okay.
And, you know, you're not trying to sell them anything. You're just trying to get your foot in the door. And because she has awarded something in your NAICS code before, it gives you a good reason to call.
Okay.
And most of the time they'll say, yeah, you know, go ahead and send it over. But, you know, if you just you know, do the shortcut and you go, you know, I'm just going to email her because I'm afraid to call her. And you email it to her, it's probably likely she's not going to get it because they have really super tight filters on their servers. They are the federal government, remember that. So you're going to try to send a link, and she's probably never going to get it. But if you ask her permission to send it to her, what do you think she's going to do? She's going to look for it, and then she's going to save it.
Right.
Because if something comes up that she doesn't, you know, they don't want to put solicitations out. They don't, you know, it takes too much time for them. So if they got some little, you know, $11,000 or something like that, you know, that's a lot of money to you and I. But, you know, for them, it's basically crumbs. So she's like, you know, as a matter of fact, I got this concrete job that, you know, it's about $11,000. You and your team want to do it? Well, sure. And that's where you go into the no bid stuff, right? Of course, you're always going to want to bid on things, but, you know, to make these relationships and build these relationships is your key. This is the secret, okay? It doesn't matter how beautiful, you know, your websites are, because that's why we make the websites the way that we do. So, you know, very basic. Because it's really not about, you know, how beautiful that is. It's about you're building relationships. That's this whole, this is a secret. I'm giving you the ticket to the Willy Wonka chocolate factory right now.
There it is.
Building relationships. Okay? So once you contact Lisa and you get her to say, yeah, okay, you know what I mean, send her the link. Okay? And then maybe a month later or whatever, you want to make sure that you know, get a spreadsheet or something and track them. And then maybe just even send her an email or just give her a call and say, hi, I just wanted to you know, remind you that I'm alive and just wanted to say hi. Or send her an email because she's already accepted your email, so now you're not going to go to her junk.
Right.
Send an email. Just wanted to send you, you know, a friendly hello or whatever. And, you know, we're still looking for, you know, business of any kind, so I'm available. And then just keep following up on it. Now, the other side of this is your prime vendors. Okay? Now, with your prime vendors, we're going to go with the concrete. Again, you can filter these out, and you can start looking for ones. Let's say that you're in Georgia, right?
Right.
This guy here is a Hispanic-owned business, minority-owned business. Let's say that you guys, because, you know, we don't have the kind of winter that they have, right? So their winter season is going to be super, super slow, right? Especially in this business. So what you want to do is you want to kind of look around. Let's find some guys that have, you know, different set-asides than you do. Like, you know, this guy is, this is a woman-owned business. And, you know, where's she at? She's in Utah. Okay? Now, Utah gets pretty freaking cold, but it doesn't in Georgia. So what if you find something that is calling for a woman-owned small business in Georgia during her winter season, and you were to make friends with her and say, hey, how would you feel about bidding on this project, and we'll fulfill it?
Right.
Isn't 50% of something better than 0% of nothing?
Right.
Don't you think she's going to jump right on that because, you know, she's a woman-owned small business, and it's going to help her so she can subcontract it to you, and they don't got nothing going on in Utah in December.
Right.
Right? You see where I'm going with that, right?
Yeah.
So just because they're in another state doesn't mean that you shouldn't be friends with them. You want everybody to come to your sandbox and bring you some sand.
Right.
Okay? Now, let's go over here to, you can also look just particularly in your state. And they have a little quirk going on right now with our marketing guys are working on this. When you put states into the vendors or the projects list, it's not populating it the right way, but it's just a little thing that they're fixing. I spoke with Matt about it this morning.
Okay.
So you see where it's still, I put in Georgia and it says Minnesota and such.
Yeah.
They're going to fix that, hopefully by the end of tomorrow. Now, these are your category sections, so at any time you can go in here and you go categories. Not only is it going to tell you the definition of the category, but it also gives you related ones that you might consider, you know, looking at long-term for NAICS codes.
Okay.
You know, like concrete, ceiling, coating, waterproofing, and dam proofing.
Uh-huh.
Could you guys do that?
Yeah.
Right, so you might want to, you know, eyeball some things that are going on with that particular NAICS code.
Okay.
You know, it just gives you other ideas. And then it tells you anything that's open right now and what it's for. Install waste oil tank. That's probably not you. Install concrete requirements. That one's not due until February 14th, but it's a woman-owned small business is a set-aside for it.
Right.
Fort Leavenworth, not that far from you.
Nope.
That might be something you might want to eyeball, but you're not a woman-owned small business, right?
Right.
So what do you want to do? Make friends with one. This tells you the history of this particular solicitation, like it went out initially and what it looked like initially. Now, your alerts, okay. First, you want to name your alert. Okay. Now, we're going to make this one an instant one. And these are the most important ones that you want. Ready? So let's go with our NAICS code. And it is now you're going to see that things pop up on the side over here, right?
Right.
Now, and for each one of your NAICS codes, you're going to do one of these ones for this. Opportunity type, award notice. Add. You want to know instantly when an award notice goes out with one of your NAICS codes in it. Why do you want to know that?
So I can be one of the first to jump on it.
Well, it's already been awarded to another company.
Oh.
So you, though, you're almost there. You want to be the first to get on the phone and congratulate that guy and say, hey, or girl, and say, hey, congratulations, I see that you got this, you know, $57,000 concrete, you know, contract.
Right.
I just wanted to, you know, call and congratulate you. You know, we were going to bid on that, but it looks like the best man won. And the other thing I want to tell you is that, you know, I'm open for any subcontracts. I know that, you know, sometimes you run short on guys or whatnot, but we do this, this, and this, I can actually send you a link to my website so you can see our capability statement if you want. And, I'd just love to do business with you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You never know because, again, they're happy that somebody, I mean, who calls in and congratulates anybody anymore?
Nobody.
Has anybody called you?
No.
No.
Not at all.
Okay. So nobody does that anymore. So it's, you win their heart that way, and you're the first one to call them. And the other thing they're wondering is how the HE double hockey sticks does he know that I just got this contract already? It hasn't even gone out on FBO yet.
Right.
Because we update every 5 minutes.
They probably haven't been notified by the purchasing agent that they've been awarded it either.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a day or two for the purchasing agent to actually notify the awardee.
Yeah, so and we got it before that.
Yeah. You're giving them good news that they don't even know they don't have yet.
Right. And or you could just say, "Psych, I'm only kidding. I won." No, I'm kidding. Okay. So I just wanted, I want you to see that you can set these up as much as you want. You know what I mean? You can set as many of these alerts up as you want, but every single one that you do, every single that you want you want to have a NAICS code and an award notice. So if you've got 4 different NAICS codes, you want the NAICS code and the award notice. You can also do this award notice, like if I just want to know in Georgia, but why limit yourself? Because again, it's all about, making friends.
Right.
You want to make friends with these guys. Even if you call somebody in frickin' Connecticut and say congratulations, who do you think that guy is going to think about the first time he has a contract that he's got to think about a subcontractor?
Me. The guy.
Yeah, the only guy that called to congratulate him.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? You just, like I said, this is all about building relationships. That's it. That's it. If you're a people person and you can build a relationship and you can speak to other human beings with respect and courtesy, you're going to get somewhere in this way.
Okay.
All right. Now, as many times as you need me to go through this AF PDS system, like help you set up your alerts or whatnot, what you can do is